If you are 18 to 35 years old and feel the call to full-time ministry, I've got exciting news. Revival Today Bible Institute this fall, September 2022. If you feel the call of God into full-time ministry, a strong biblical foundation is essential. However, education alone is insufficient. Sound biblical training coupled with the power of the Holy Spirit is the vital dynamic duo. God has called Jonathan and I to open up a training school that offers live, on-campus classes to equip the next generation in fulfilling the call of God in their lives. Revival Today Bible Institute's mission is to raise ministers of excellence who deliver the gospel of Jesus Christ in word and in power. Will you join us? Will you join us in seeing this generation transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ? If you want more information or you want to apply, go to revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com. I love you. See you there.
Tonight are on the broad road that leads to destruction. And tonight, I would say with Moses, I would say with Joshua, turn, repent, choose God, serve Him, live for Him. That is the message of God tonight to this great audience of people at Yankee Stadium.
I see revival coming to planet Earth. Maybe as never before. It would be untold numbers, an untold, uncounted multitudes that will be saved. The dead will be raised. The arthritic will be healed. Cancer will be healed. No disease will be able to stand before God's people, and that it would be a worldwide situation.
There's a church that doesn't just know about God, they know God. They don't just believe in His power, they carry His power. God will shake the United States of America one last time, not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market, bright and early on the Thursday morning.
Friday. This is Friday.
No, it's
this
Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Hold
Oh
on.
no, this is Thursday. Oh geez, I'm a day ahead of my week. That's
Thursday morning.
we can
How's
cut that
everybody
part out.
doing? D&D Investments, Lisa. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Yes, select all the bridges there. There you go. There we go. Is it working? Okay, good. All right, let us know where you're watching from. Wayne, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Twitter finally decided to comply.
Finally. It took them long enough.
We got some new stock trading rules too by our favorite parent, Gary Gensler. Not Gary Gensler. Yeah, Gary Gensler, head of the SEC.
SEC,
Yes. Yes, our favorite parent who makes sure that we don't ever lose any money.
See it more like an abuser than a parent.
Joel, good morning. Scott. I think the SEC's sole role should be just to make sure there's no Ponzi schemes. Like Ponzi schemes or things like that. But if people want to invest in...
Let them do what they want.
Yeah, let them do what they want. If they,
It's very extremist of you, by the way.
It's mostly not even retail investors that are going to sue. It's hedge funds and investment banks that sue if they lose money on something. So what does it matter?
What does it matter?
Awesome. Well, let's get started. Let's take a look at the news. What you got for us?
Quebec, Canada, people getting jabbed for monkeypox. Never did I think people were actually this gullible and reckless with their health. Roll it. Let's see what they say.
Ça va bien? Bonjour, vous venez pour le vaccin du laboratoire? Merci, au revoir.
Now that I got my shot done, I feel pretty safe, safer, confident that I'm doing my part in this fight against monkeypox. Though I still have to wait a few days, 7 to 10 days before my immunity system is up for battle. But yeah, I feel good.
My question is, if it spreads through like close contact, touching clothes, touching skin, why aren't these people wearing gloves? That's what I'm like. Honestly, it's not just through specific transmission, but one way of transmitting monkeypox is through touch.
Yeah, but they're also saying it was transmittable through the air. So do they really know what they're talking about?
Do they know what they're talking about? Yeah. But we're dealing with Canadians, so Next. Massachusetts State Police Trooper Paul O'Connor consoles a distraught man on the Tobin Bridge after successfully talking him out of committing suicide. One of the good things, many good things that cops do on a regular basis is save lives. And this is not covered by mainstream media, but it happens literally every single day, multiple times. So, way to go, men in blue. Next.
Money that he has allocated to invest in police departments and training of police officers. It appears as though the president did have a slight trip there as he's boarding Air Force One. Again, he's heading to ending them.
Another trip up. Big surprise. Next.
Oh, yeah. Round 2.
Oh, my gosh. It's early, you guys. The House of Representatives, in a vote 223 to 204, has just passed a bill raising the minimum age to buy semi-automatic rifles to 21, banning high-capacity ammunition magazines, and cracking down on gun trafficking. The bill now goes to the dysfunctional Senate for Republicans to kill it. Roll it.
On this vote, the yeas are 223. The nays are 204.
How much did she drink?
The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The sheer amount of joy she gets from banging that hammer. It's like whack-a-mole. But blatantly unconstitutional what they're passing through the Congress, and several Republicans actually sided on for that vote. So if you want to know who those were, go look it up on that vote. Yeah, I don't know, Sandra. Maybe. But yeah, the Senate will kill this. I am very positive of that. Next. From Senator Scott Wiener over in California.
Oh, no.
Good one, guys. Says, this guy gave me a bill idea offering Drag Queen 101 as part of the K through 12 curriculum. Attending Drag Queen Storytime will satisfy the requirement. And this guy wants to make it legal for 25-year-old men to have relations with 15-year-old boys in California, amongst making it so that passing HIV on to someone is not a crime. Not disclosing that you have HIV. So this Mr.
Are you serious?
Yes, Mr.
Wiener
is out of order on many things. So don't take any cues from him if you're going into politics. Next. Fictional dystopia. Everything is controlled by corporations and the government wants you dead. No. Real dystopia. Everything is controlled by corporations and the government wants you dead. LOL, you're a conspiracy theorist. That would be all over the news if it was true.
Byron!
Next. Breaking: an armed man was arrested near Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh's Maryland home after allegedly making threats against Kavanaugh, according to a Supreme Court spokesperson. This person was obviously arrested, and he was 26 years old, and many people are saying that this is going based, he took these actions based upon Senator Chuck Schumer's response to a pro-life law that made it all the way to the Supreme Court about 2 years ago, and that Brett Kavanaugh specifically would be targeted, needed to be targeted, and he would regret taking the post on SCOTUS. So very interesting stuff. Interesting too, I know a Canadian member of parliament who had credible death threats against him and his family, just like Brett Kavanaugh, but he's an MP. There's many MPs. The authorities shut down the entire street, and for well over, I think it was 2 weeks, had police stationed outside of his home.
Yeah.
And yet there's protesters still going up and down the street of Brett Kavanaugh, where Brett Kavanaugh lives. It makes no sense to me. No sense.
I mean, I don't think he lives there right now.
No. They moved everyone.
I don't think that him and his family, they probably live somewhere else.
Yes.
Because it'd be smart just to find another place to live for a while.
Yes. Yeah. Next. This is Chesa Boudin's late mother's Wikipedia bio. It's absolutely amazing. All right, so we talked about this yesterday, so I want to show people. Let's see her bio. She died in May of this year. She was an American leftist terrorist and convicted murderer. She was a member of the radical left militant organization Weather Underground, who was convicted of felony murder for her role in the 1981 Brinks robbery. The robbery resulted in the killing of two Nyack, New York police officers and one security guard, and serious injury to another security guard. She was released from prison on parole in 2003 and became an adjunct, professor at Columbia University.
Wow.
So how they made that climb is interesting.
Yeah, that's like a serious.
It's a little strange.
Promotion from prison to Columbia University.
Yeah, exactly. Speaks a lot about Columbia. And also his father, the corrupt DA from San Francisco, who was just recalled. His father was also a part of Weather Underground. So just some proof for you all. Next, not that Wikipedia is a reliable source, but it's out there. Retailer Walmart reportedly pulled some kind of coconut milk from its shelves following undercover investigations that allegedly revealed the use of forced monkey labor. And yet, United States just went forward with bringing in a bunch of solar panels and utilizing Chinese materials, resources that are produced by Uyghur Muslims in camps.
So they use the monkeys to climb the trees?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't that what they love to do anyway?
Free the monkeys, man.
I guess.
PETA, get all over this. Next.
Man.
From Chris Tomlinson, up in Canada, how can anyone defend this sort of stuff? Expropriation without compensation is the thing of totalitarian regimes. From Rebel News, you don't have an absolute right to own private property in Canada, says Liberal Justice Minister David Lametti when asked about seizing and selling off Russian assets. Go for it.
Minister Lametti, I will just ask you about C-19 and the idea of seizing and selling off Russian assets. The idea that some observers say that is on shaky legal ground. How do you respond to that?
Well, look, we'll obviously
tailor the provisions so that it could withstand a court challenge. You don't have an absolute right to own private property in Canada. There are steps that are taken when expropriations happen at whatever level of government, and we'll be sure to stay within those boundaries.
Like they've stayed in every other boundary that they've placed up for themselves. Next.
Microsoft is bringing Xbox Game Pass cloud streaming to smart TVs so users don't need a console.
What? Where's all the fun then?
All you need to do is buy a Samsung TV, and you'll be able to game on that with cloud streaming. I thought it was very interesting. Because when I got my new Xbox, I saw that a lot of the games you don't have to install anymore. You can just play them.
Really?
So it's like cloud gaming.
Oh.
So they're bringing that to smart TVs, so you don't even need consoles anymore. Which is, I mean, Microsoft, because you can't get a lot of the consoles. You can't buy them.
You can't.
They're back ordered. It took me a long time to get the new Xbox, and so this is a way to bypass that. I know obviously it won't be like all games, but Microsoft is thinking outside the box there, so that's good.
Cool.
Outside the Xbox. But let's see the article. Microsoft is releasing an Xbox app for smart TVs, enabling consumers to stream Xbox video games even if they don't own consoles. Microsoft said Thursday that it will first bring the app to Samsung's 2022 smart TVs and then expand distribution to other manufacturers. It's a bold bet for Microsoft after Xbox hardware revenue jumped 92% last year. The company said the app will be available starting June 30th in 27 countries. The move indicates Microsoft is focusing on picking up revenue from gaming content and services as opposed to just consoles. Where the company is lagging behind Nintendo and Sony, Microsoft's biggest splash in gaming came earlier this year when the company announced plans to buy game publisher Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion. Gaming is Microsoft's fourth largest major product category, and the company is aiming to lure more users to its Game Pass subscription service, which costs $10 a month and includes an option for people playing on PCs and streaming via the cloud. So Microsoft going for it there, trying to take down PlayStation once and for all my PlayStation fans out there. All right, next.
John has a question. Can you please speak cold wallets, Ledger, or Trezor?
I own Trezor. I own a Trezor. So that's what I keep my off-chain cryptocurrencies on. Market's open. Pirate! Somebody's up there just going ham on the sound effects. S&P 500 is down 15 points. NASDAQ down 62. And the Dow Jones is down 96 points. 97 now. Cryptocurrencies. Do I want to look this morning? Oh, look at that. The overall market is up 0.11%. Still up.
It's up.
Bitcoin down 0.44, still up over 30, 31.99. Ethereum 17.95, down just a little bit. XRP back down to 40 cents. Dogecoin, it's down 0.003 from yesterday, 0.0797. What else we got? Avalanche 24.76, up a little bit. Cardano 64 cents, Solana $40. Not too bad crypto there. Still way down from where it was. Yeah, that is a Central Time wake up right there. All right, next. Wow, that's that's awesome.
Oh no.
Ninjas, nieces, and nephews love the bell. They scream markets are open. That's awesome that they already, Markets are open. There'll be investors in no time. Next. Twitter complies with Elon Musk's demand to access bot data.
Finally.
We have the video. Let's roll it.
Or I should say, giving into Elon Musk's demand for platform data access after the Tesla CEO accused the social media platform of not providing enough data on automated bot accounts. Our next guest says that this is a very big deal and may change the outcome. We'll see. Joining us right now is Ajit Pai. He's the former FCC chairman. He's a partner at Searchlight Capital Partners and a non-resident fellow of the American Enterprise Institute. Good morning to you. You think this is game-changing?
Well, I think it's certainly a significant step by the Twitter management and assume acting on the behest of the board to give Elon Musk more information to stave off two, I think, material risks that the board is worried about. Number one, the risk of a renegotiation of the price, and number two, the risk of litigation in Delaware Chancery Court over the merger agreement.
When you look at this merger agreement, one of the things that everyone's been so fascinated by is that Elon Musk effectively waived diligence. And early on, we should also say that he said one of the reasons he was buying Twitter was because he thought it had a bot problem. If you were going to litigate this case, do you think that Twitter's board has the better side of it right now, or Elon Musk?
Well, I think for starters, you put your finger on one of the things that has been very perplexing to many observers. They call it due diligence for a reason, because presumably a lot of people who are spending money to buy a company want to know every nook and cranny of the business. But going beyond that, the question becomes, now that there is a merger agreement, what are the grounds for Musk to potentially walk away from the deal? And there are essentially two of them. One of them that has been covered a lot in previous weeks has been misrepresentation, or a representation that has a material adverse effect on the company. But the newer one, and I think the reason why Twitter is handing over this raw data about the 500 million daily tweets that come out, is the covenant breach. One of the things that Twitter said is that we will provide you all information that you need to understand essentially the core of the business. And the recent letter that Musk's lawyer sent to Twitter and filed with the SEC suggests there might be a breach of the covenant because Musk has been asking for this information for almost a month now, and they haven't handed it over. So that's part of the reason why Twitter has made this gesture to try to stave off any argument that Twitter has breached its covenant of providing information to the buyer. But even then, remember, this is not the entire denominator, so to speak, of Twitter users. Twitter's business is based on monetizable daily active users. And that base includes not just the people who tweet every day, but a great number of accounts who don't tweet or are essentially silent. Additionally, Twitter does some internal analytics in terms of analyzing who some of these people follow and who they don't. That feeds into the determination of whether or not they are bots or not. And so I suspect that this is a very important step forward in terms of Twitter giving information and Musk getting information, but it's certainly not the end of the conversation in terms of the quantum of information that Musk is presumably going to want in order to ascertain the extent of the bots on the platform.
So, Musk got his way there. They're handing over all the data. So it'll be interesting to see, because he's a very open guy.
Oh, yes.
And he's not corrupt. Oh my goodness.
Oh, jeez. Where do you find this stuff? Oh my word. That's awesome.
So Twitter is handing over all the information, which is good.
It took them a very long time, though, so I'd be very interested,
I don't think just because you've got like a bunch of lawyers working on this.
Yes.
I don't think that they can
monkeying around with it a bunch. Yeah.
Because if they do, then in the end, then he has, there's a lawsuit that could potentially happen.
Yeah.
If he finally then takes over the company and the data that they gave him isn't the same as the data that the company is receiving now, then there's like a breach of contract at that point. And so it's good that they're finally handing over all that information, and it's good because we'll find out exactly.
Yes, it's a very open book.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be tweeting about it. He also tweeted the other day that, or said somewhere that Starlink is 3 years away or 2 years away from IPO.
Really?
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. All right, next. Is Netflix exploring acquisition opportunities? Why Roku stock is surging? Interesting. So this is from yesterday. This is old news, but we'll bring it to you anyway. Roku shares are trading higher Wednesday following a Business Insider report suggesting the company may be in talks to be acquired by Netflix. According to the report, citing people familiar with the matter, Roku has abruptly closed the employee window for trading, and talks of a Netflix takeover are bouncing around within the company. The closing of the trading window for employees' shares suggests that fundamental changes could be on the horizon. Roku connects users to the streaming content they love, enables content publishers to build and monetize large audiences, and provide advertisers with the unique capabilities to engage consumers. So it looks like Netflix is potentially exploring, this is all just hearsay at this point, but potentially exploring a takeover of Netflix. Next. European Central Bank to end bond buying and lift interest rates in July as it joins inflation battle. Extra late, later than even the United States. This is what happens when you put Christine Lagarde, who used to be the head of the IMF, in charge of the European Central Bank. Great job, Europe. The European Central Bank is preparing for liftoff, announcing Thursday that it will end monthly asset purchases on... Who was a finance minister for France?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Why?
Put a German finance minister in.
You're biased.
I'm not biased.
You're very biased.
Put someone from Deutsche Bank in.
Heck no.
Markets will be going up forever. Policymakers also left the door open to a larger rate increase in September. ECB President Christine Lagarde was due to hold a news conference at 8:30. Was she finance minister during Nicolas Sarkozy? Or even earlier than that, Jacques Chirac? No, I think it was during Sarkozy.
Yeah.
A decision to end the asset purchases, which make up a practice known as quantitative easing. So Europe is joining the fight. Good for them. Continue. We can go to the next one. Goldman Sachs asks in biotech research report, is curing patients a
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's, yeah, because it's no, curing patients is definitely not sustainable. Continue. Target raises its dividend by 20% to boost yield to nearly a percentage point above Walmart's. So it looks like Target is trying to become a more attractive stock to buy. Let's see it. Shares of Target rallied 1.1% in pre-market trading Thursday after the discount retailer said it raised its quarterly dividend by 20% to $1.08 per share. Currently trading, where are they at? They are now down 0.06. The new dividend will be payable September 10th to shareholders on record as of August 17th. Based on Wednesday's stock closing price of $156.70, the new annual dividend rate implies a dividend yield of 2.78%, which compares with the yield for rival Walmart of 1.83. So that's interesting there. Yep, exactly. Yeah, except that now you can just wait in the car outside and they'll just load it all in for you.
Yes, exactly.
Continue. Tesla upgraded to buy at UBS after a 31% stock price slide. What does everybody think?
Ooh.
Tesla a good buy right now or no? Let's see it. Tesla was upgraded to buy at UBS on the view that the stock market slide has provided an attractive entry point for high-growth business. Analyst Patrick Hummel kept his price target of $1,100 while upgrading the stock. Tesla shares down 31% on the year, rose over 3% in a pre-market trade. And they're up 1.43% right now. Hummel said the operational outlook is stronger than ever due to a record high order backlog and 2 new gigafactories ramping up. He did reduce his 22 earnings per share target by 12% to account for the Shanghai lockdown. But is Tesla a good one? To let me know in the comments. Buy the dip on Tesla, yes or no. Next. This is the SEC's revamp of stock trading rules faces criticism from Wall Street because they won't be making as much money. Agency considers requiring brokerages to route individual investors' stock orders into auctions. The reason why Robinhood was able to become one of the first free stock trading apps is because they were making money on the stock orders. But now they won't be if this happens, because then these clearinghouses are going to compete with each other for these orders, for these stock orders. Continue.
Okay.
Brokerages and trading firms push back forcefully against Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler's proposed changes to U.S. stock trading rules, saying the market is functioning well for ordinary investors. Mr. Gensler outlined the potential changes Wednesday and was greeted with skepticism from an array of financial industry executives who said the SEC's far-reaching plans are unnecessary. A top executive with Robinhood, surprise, argued that individual investors are winners in the current system, enjoying benefits such as zero commission trades. I think that if they do this, they might bring back, they might have to charge for trades again.
Whoa.
Is it really a good climate for retail? So to go in and muck with it right now, to me, is a little worrisome. Robinhood Chief Legal Officer Dan Gallagher said at the Piper Sandler Global Exchange. Okay, continue. In one of the key elements of the SEC's proposed package of rule changes, Mr. Gensler said he has asked agency staff to consider requiring brokerages to route individual investors' orders to buy or sell stocks into auctions as part of an effort to increase competition in the market. There's a cost to retail to this current system, Mr. Gensler said in a virtual appearance at the same conference, and the cost is that 2 or 3 highly concentrated market makers are buying your order flow. Continue. Wayne says, I want to know what Jim Cramer thinks of Tesla so I can do the opposite. Potential change would represent a major shakeup to the lucrative business of executing trades in the stock market. Wall Street Journal reported Monday that the plan was under consideration. So we'll see what happens there. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. I don't think they'll be able to push it through.
No.
Next. No. What about the one about the carbon capture? Did that one not go through?
What would be the holdup with that with the SEC plan potentially going through?
Okay. There's going to be a lot of pushback from Wall Street. And Wall Street usually wins in these situations.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Gary might not be keeping his job.
That's how far you think it could go.
Oh yeah, if he pushes through things that they don't like, they can use political pressure. They're big donors to the political system.
Right.
Wall Street is going to be a winner. These companies are sucking carbon. So we talked about this yesterday. Right?
Yep.
So these companies are sucking carbon out of the atmosphere, and investors are piling in. So this is an article from last year that I found. But see if you can get one of those pictures of one of those companies too. That it's interesting. In Switzerland, they're doing this. Let's see it. There you go. See that? So Beutler calls the plant a drop in the bucket, but the bucket is getting bigger fast as new companies like Climeworks that we talked about yesterday, as well as governments seek to monumentally expand what's called direct carbon capture. This has to reach several gigatons in terms of scale, and not just technologies like direct air capture, but all carbon removal solutions combined. We need everything. So that's what they look like. These like big exhaust fans that suck the air in and then take the carbon out of the air basically.
Wow.
They installed the Zurich system in 2017. By 2020 had raised $100 million from Microsoft, Audi, Shopify, and Stripe. It's now building a much larger plant in Iceland. So what this company does is it sucks the carbon out of the air and then sells carbon credits to Microsoft and these other companies, so that those companies can say that they're carbon neutral.
Carbon neutral.
So this is big. I mean, this is potentially big business, especially in Europe, where I don't know if they would have, if that would happen here. but Europe or Canada, for example, where potentially they'll come out with legislation requiring companies to buy some sort of climate credits, especially companies that, that aren't ESG friendly, so they won't be able to get loans. So the only way that they can get loans to grow their business is to buy carbon credits and become ESG friendly or whatever.
Wow.
Big business, big business.
Whew.
But I've got some companies for you that I took a look at that are in the carbon capture. So if you want to research those, I got a whole list of them. So 2 of the biggest ones are Chevron and ExxonMobil. I wouldn't buy their stock right now. It's a little overvalued. But CVX and XOM, Chevron and ExxonMobil, they're in it. Take a look at Fuel Cell Energy, FCEL. I know we've had that company on here before as a stock to research, and I've invested in this company before. FCEL, Fuel Cell Energy, they're working all of this. A lot of companies are still private, but there are, Fuel Cell is one that works with it. Siemens AG, the ticker symbol for that is SIEGY. SIEGY. That's an over-the-counter stock, and it's a company that's out of Germany, but they're working on carbon capture. Surprise. Linde PLC, which if you've ever seen, they have like the trucks with the compressed natural gas and things like that, chemicals, all sorts of things. Linde PLC, LIN is the ticker symbol. They're working on carbon capture technology. One of the NRG Energy with ticker symbol NRG is also working on it. The Fluor Corporation, FLR, they're one of the, they're like a conglomerate here in the United States, and they have 4 decades of experience in carbon capture. And so they're working on this technology as well. And now that this has come to the forefront during the WEF, the World Economic Forum, I'm sure that there's going to be more, there's money to be made.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these companies are going to be competing for this money from, Amazon and Microsoft and all these different hedge funds and investment companies that want to invest in carbon capture.
Wow.
So FLR, Fluor Corporation, Ametis Inc., AMTX, Ametis Inc., they're also involved in this. What you can do is you go to these different companies, take a look at them, take a look at like what their plan is for carbon capture and see if that's something that you want to invest in. Another one, this is a big one out of Norway, Aker Carbon Capture. They've got 30 years of experience in carbon capture. Aker Carbon Capture, it's AKCCF. They're trading around $3 a share, and they're over the counter from Norway, so you can't buy them on Robinhood or Cash App. You need to buy them through a regular investment platform. But they're working very hard, and they're now publishing articles where they want to take their carbon capture technology, take it all over the world to different companies. But what they're doing is they're storing the carbon in the North Sea.
Really?
So that's their plan. So that was CVX, XOM, FCEL, SIEGY, LIN, NRG, FLR, AMTX, and AKCCF. Those are the ones. Yeah, that would be a giant carbon. What do you think of Intel for a long? Yeah, for a long hold, I think Intel would be fine. I don't think Intel is going anywhere. So I think Intel's still going to be around. I think it's a good long-term hold if you want to hold it for long term. So those are the carbon capture companies. So I took a look at some of them. I didn't, do a deep dive on them. Did more of a deep dive on AKCCF. I thought some of their things that they were doing was interesting, and there's a couple of companies that are working on this. Since they can't shut down industry without a political backlash, they're looking at things like this for the future. That's just my opinion, but I think that's probably why this is getting a fresh look, is because they realized, all the industry leaders and everybody realized that there's huge political backlash to shutting down industries, And they probably won't be able to do that without major civil unrest.
Yeah, totally agree.
So that's it for today. If you'd like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that now. Here are the ways to give. Let's do a good giveaway. What do we have today? Let's get this bread with Baker Pat.
Oh, yeah.
We'll send that to you so you can represent Check the Market for a gift of any size today. We'll send that to you. And here are the ways to give. Revival today on .com/give. Hashtag donate on Facebook, text to give, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We also have cryptocurrencies. You can also give by cryptocurrencies. Scan that QR code there. And you can also send us a check. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania 15329. Don't forget to claim your offer. Thank you so much for investing and standing with us here at Revival Today. Really appreciate it. If you are looking to go into the ministry, make sure you sign up for Revival Today Bible Institute, launching this fall. You can apply online at revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com. So make sure that if you'd like to go into the ministry, thinking of going to the ministry, if you're graduating, make sure you sign up. And then we've got our 40 Days of Glory coming up here in Coropolis, Pennsylvania. Make sure that you make plans to make it out for those. Take a little summer trip to beautiful, not so sunny today, but maybe sunny tomorrow, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you. Go out there and make some money today, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Money friends and the CTM crew. Yes. Crypto Island, yo boy. Crypto Island, yo boy. Crypto Island, yo boy. We are the B.O.D. Yeah. Crypto Island boy, yeah. Crypto Island boy, yeah. Shout out to P Money friends and the CTM crew. Gotta hear from the Island boys. Yeah. Big shout out to y'all, man. Check the market. All right.